Guys, the wait is finally over. Today, we begin the process to redeem and revive Kintsugi, our gold 240SX coupe with an RV20 DET. Whew. Man, I haven't been in here in 5 months. This is our gold 240SX named Kintsugi. We picked this up in North Carolina and have been building it for the last several years. And this is our RV20 we picked up from a local guy. This engine should be making about 270 horsepower and it's going to really wake up our project. So first things we got to do, we need to cart Kintsugi into this space so we can start draining every fluid out of it. Now obviously, I as a single individual with a busted wrist can't exactly move the car on my own, so I've called in some friends to help us with this project. First things first, we're gonna drop the oil in the engine and in the transmission just to get everything out of it. After that, we'll work on draining the coolant and the power steering, and if there is any coolant material left for the AC system, we'll deplete that out as well, as carefully as possible. Once all the fluid is drained, the next steps after that will be removing the intake system and any other extraneous parts that are attached to the engine, but not necessarily part of it. After that, we're gonna go under the car and start unbolting engine mounts, exhaust mounts, and also unbolt our transmission from the drive shaft. Once those things are done, it's hoisting it out time, and we get to start clearing out that engine bay. But enough talk. Let's get started. Got my buddy Serrano. He popped in. He's new around here. He's new to car stuff, so this is a great car to learn on, I guess. We're gonna go ahead and get started by pulling all the electrical connections from the engine to the body. We're also gonna take off the intake pipe and any other little odds and ends that we can get off here in the moment right now, just because we may as well get started taking things out since everything's coming out of here anyway. Got the cruise control module out. This is his first actual thing removed from a car.
This was the piece of junk.
So now he gets to do the honors.
What's the words?
Disrespected.
Just at the ground or away?
At the ground.
Okay. Disrespected!
Yeah. After initiating Serrano in our ways, we started draining out coolant and found oil in it. So we know this motor's blown. In the meantime, while we were waiting for Ishmael to arrive, Ian showed up with his own steering wheel so we could steer the car into the garage and get started pulling parts. The Ian has arrived, Jolly Green. You haven't been seen on camera for the entirety of the season because it's episode 4. After exchanging pleasantries, we began pulling the ECU harness through the firewall and slowly but surely draining the AC system of its Freon. As you can tell, this engine has had a long and hard life and has finally lost the battle to a head gasket failure. Can you believe you rode on that engine for 4 years now?
What happened? More like 3.
How much is this? Because we got this in 18.
It's sat free.
That's also true. Ian's going under. He's about to break loose.
Look at what you're doing from down
So
there.
the rest of the stuff underneath, as far as like engine mounts goes, we're currently draining engine oil. We've already disconnected everything regarding to the AC system. We got to pop out the condenser and this little guy here. I've heard this before.
Air filter.
Like, is it an air filter or is that for like a Chark system?
Chark, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's Chark canister.
So we'll definitely be.
We don't need that, right?
Frick no.
Yeah.
You know why? Because Japan.
At this point, everything underneath the engine was unbolted, and now we can take the hood off to start pulling it out the top. We're making actually really good progress, I must say. For a job that we started only about 3 hours ago, this is pretty good so far. But now is the fun part. Now is the preparation to actually pull it. Ian, your confidence level of us being able to get this motor out in the next 30.
Boy.
Oh boy, here we go.
You realize how many of these I've pulled, right?
Now that's the confidence I'm talking about. You got too much practice there, buddy.
You got a little nothing. Just make it. Just do it. Oh God.
He's dying right now.
You did that.
So we're currently getting the last of the basically bottom half of this car ready to get pulled out. So once he breaks, are you working on the downpipe right now?
Yep.
So once he gets the downpipe off, we should be clear, right?
Yep.
See? Look at that. Same mine. Not really. After nearly a half hour underneath the car working and pulling, we realized we made one glaring error. So don't be like us. We completely forgot to actually unhook the clutch assembly parts that are attached to the body. So we may or may not have accidentally yeeted the line. So if we did, oh well, we just gotta get another one. If not, we're in good shape. But we're not gonna know until this bad boy is out. Engine almost out of car. We're finally getting this KA out of here. Now a couple days later, the engine is all the way out of the car. It got really late, my camera died, but the long and short of it is that we got the engine to the back of Ishmael's Raptor and he took that thing to better pastures. The transmission started and spoken for. Ian's taken a couple parts off the block for his own reasons, and the block itself is spoken for by somebody else. So sorry, we can't sell you any of the pieces of it. This engine bay, well, it's filthy, it's disgusting. It has been cleaned in 20 plus years. So Ish, myself, and our buddy Serrano are all coming back to help clean this thing out. Mostly so we can make sure that this thing is ready to go for an RV20. As you can tell, there is a lot, I mean a lot of caked on grime and grease and disgustingness down there that we just gotta go in and start brake cleaning off, hitting it with gunk, degreaser, stuff like that. I'm gonna take the leaf blower, blow out this whole area, that way it's nice and clean. We're gonna get this bay looking so fresh that it may as well have been a new car. Ishmael's arrived with a bodysuit.
You gotta do what you gotta do.
Man's out here looking like the CDC.
Dude, I'm about to put this hood on and everything. Let's see, hold on.
Oh, he's committed.
Does this look like something Kanye would wear?
Just show it to Coachella. Commitment to the game. You know, I'm pretty sure you just tore a hole in your pants.
Did I?
Maybe.
Okay.
Nah, you good.
Okay. All right. Hit me with your best shot.
After several cans of brake clean, a couple bottles of detergent and degreaser, and a lot of scrubbing later, this engine bay is now looking fresher than it probably ever has. And with that, the emptying of our engine bay is now complete. So Ish, as the world is aware, this car has lived outside, but how long has it lived outside?
I think its entire life.
With that said, typical 240 rust covered in rust stuff to try
Battery
to
tray.
You know, it's the
All
battery
acid
tray.
drip.
Like this, you admitted that like every car you've had has had problems with
This
that
was the
spot.
first 240 I've ever had that actually had like
The tray still there.
tray left.
There is no frame rust anywhere along the runners.
Which is surprised because
For a car that
if I'm
lived
not
outside for 30
mistaken,
years.
this was an East Coast only car.
Not just East Coast only. This lived in a trailer park, and it lived in a dust pile. So like you would expect something to happen. Man, Kintsugi got some gold up its
Honestly,
sleeve, bro.
maybe like, I don't know, maybe that's the reason why it doesn't have rust.
Is all the dust?
All the dirt roads it kind of lived off of, they don't ever salt those.
That's true. I mean, we can admit on this side there is a little bit of surface rust.
Yeah, it's
but that's
definitely
literally
surface,
because of brake master cylinder. Like if that leaks, which ours when we first got it did, that's going to eat into
This
paint.
is a 300ZX.
Yeah, we didn't. I don't think we ever talked about this on camera, but this is a 300ZX booster and master cylinder, and that was to replace our 241. That was definitely in bad shape. That's what some of that rust is from.
Z32.
Yeah,
braking.
but we both know that master cylinder.
Oh no, it needed to get replaced even if we didn't do the big brake stuff.
I'm really impressed with how healthy this chassis actually is.
Yeah,
Like the paint looks leprous as all get out, but underneath,
But
man,
here's
the
the
bones
thing
are
though.
good.
Check this out though. The paint looks bad, but it's a respray.
It is a respray.
But OE paint, it's looking great.
And we're gonna end today's video here. We've already gone ahead and cleared out basically the tub sections of this engine bay. We scrubbed them down. They're looking squeaky clean, right nice, pretty. We've also gone ahead and hit up the power brace, the sway bar, and the subframe and steering rack. So those are now pretty much clean. There's just some things you can't get off in this environment. You know, we can't put it in the air, we can't throw it on its side and scrub it down and stuff like that. Like, there's not a rotisserie here. This is just Him and I in here going at it, trying to make this thing look pretty again. We got some things we're gonna do off camera, which involve a little bit more cleaning and a lot of black paint. What else we got going on?
There's some surface rust on this side, which we've actually managed to scrub a lot off, but it's metal now, raw, like down to the bare metal. And then on the, as you guys saw earlier, the battery tray is pretty corroded out. So our next step, which you guys will see the end result of, is us just kind of going through and using some high heat, kind of like bed liner type of paint, and mask off some of the lower areas. We really like the tan that's there, and the paint's in really good shape, and
it's an impressively good shape.
It'd almost be criminal to paint over it, especially with a cheapo like rattle can job. So we're just gonna cover the areas that are rusted and preserve as much tan, like OE color as possible, and clean up everything else in the engine bay, and then we're probably gonna hammer out some areas in the tranny tunnel where you know, we need some room. So you guys will see the end result of that.
We'll fill you in more as we get to that stage of the game. For now, we're gonna end the video here, and if you enjoyed this project, you should see this video. Will be right here. It will be on Ishmael's belly. See this video, this is where we brought this car back to life for the first time. And if you really want to see it, check out our TikTok. We talk about the day we bought this car.